for a computer.
It's not impossible. I used to bullseye Womp rats in my T16 back home. They're not much bigger than T-meters.
Hello and welcome to the Womp Rat
Greetings.
Star Wars podcast. I'm your host, Brandon Ochoa.
And I'm your other host, Brian Ochoa.
And today we're going to be talking Star Wars Rebels, Droids in Distress, the official first episode, right?
Yeah, I mean, there's kind of a confusing thing about it. On demand, it's considered the third episode.
Really?
Because Spark of the Rebellion was kind of like a two-part episode.
Oh.
You know, it was episode 1
Oh,
and
'cause it
2
was an hour
combined.
long.
But in our eyes, it's kind of episode 1.
That's what I was, that's what I was confused about. Because you see, because I have it on Amazon because I can't afford cable, and so it shows episode 1, but then Spark of the Rebellion was something like different, like it was like its own thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess technically you should call it the third. Oh, whatever. It's
No,
one. Today it's 1.
Today it is 1. It's the first episode, and we're gonna it's gonna have spoilers in it. I mean, it's been about like a week since it's been out.
Yeah.
And we kind of purposely did that too, because that kind of, it airs on Monday and then we talk about it pretty much next Monday.
Gives you guys time to see it.
Yeah, I mean, by this time we're recording on a Monday, but this should be releasing on a Tuesday. So, I mean, you'll get a good review of what we thought of the last episode, on the same time where the new episode comes out. So then the next podcast, we'll be talking about that, and that, again, should give you enough time to watch it. And then if you're somebody who hasn't seen the episode and you're just interested and you don't really mind spoilers that much, and then go ahead and just listen and just see what we thought about the episode.
Yeah, and throw in some comments. That's another reason why we're doing it, extending it to a week, is so you guys can throw in your thoughts, and that's mainly what we want to hear. We want to hear this community go. So to get it started, what we're going to start off with, some Star Wars news, just to kick the thing off. One thing I want to talk about that was mainly just recently was Warwick Davis being put in the episode 7. What do you think about that?
I got at first I thought he was announced before, but I think I was totally getting him confused with the guy who played R2D2.
Oh, okay,
and I thought, but then when I looked him up and when I watched the video, I was like, oh no, that's the dude who played Wicket, and what was that one wizard movie he played in?
Willow, right?
Willow. That was him, right?
Was it him?
Probably. I don't know.
I totally have to look that up now.
Oh, yeah, it was him, Willow.
Oh, that's awesome.
I think he also played the Leprechaun.
I used to love that movie as a kid.
Didn't he play the Leprechaun?
In Willow?
No, not in Willow.
Oh, there's no Leprechaun in Willow?
In the Leprechaun movie.
Like the scary movie?
Yeah.
That's a big possibility.
I don't know, but we're getting off subject. But I was pretty excited because... I mean, he played Wicket in Return of the Jedi, and so does this mean we're going to be seeing an old Wicket?
That's what I'm
Grandpa
thinking.
Wicket?
Does that mean there's going to be Ewoks, or
is he going to be something new? I kind of actually think it's going to be something new.
I do too. Not that I would be against bringing Ewoks to the 7th, because Ewoks do have a good fan base, I want to say.
Yeah.
But at the same time, they also have a dislike to them.
It's kind of half
Ewoks,
and half.
yeah.
I'm on the side where I actually liked the Ewoks when I was a kid,
too.
and I like them. But I also agree a lot that it the Empire getting destroyed by Ewoks, like it was just kind of
that was kind of
throwing rocks at him. Like the stormtroopers are already horrible at shooting. Now like they wear all this armor and a little stone knocks them out, and kills them.
Out, yeah.
So. I mean,
just
the Ewoks are cool though. They're little vicious. They're vicious creatures though.
They really are, especially
they're killers, man.
Yeah. Back in what were they gonna do? Weren't they gonna cook them?
Yeah, they were gonna cook and eat the main cast, and not only that, at the end they're banging on heads of stormtroopers.
Oh yeah, yeah, they are pretty brutal.
It's all they are pretty brutal.
I think if it had a higher rating, there'd be blood everywhere.
Yeah,
they'd be pouring blood on themselves.
That's a scene that they did not show.
All right, and did you seen the YouTube video just recently, didn't you?
Yeah,
about the whole accepting the position.
Yeah, and it was pretty awesome because one thing about Davis is that I don't think I've ever seen the guy not smile.
Yeah,
like he's every picture you look up of him online is
he's
him with this
smiling.
big smile, and he seems like just such a happy guy
Real
who's really grateful for his fans that he has, and he seems like someone who just loves what he's doing.
Oh yeah, because he still does. I believe in that YouTube video too. He was talking about just recently doing a some type of event, Star Wars event that was going on. And I'm sure he does lots of those.
It seems like it seems like he's in the same boat as Mark Hamill, where they both really accept the fandom and they enjoy
Embrace
their fans so much, and they're very grateful for it and everything. It's always really
That's what
cool
I like
to hear
to see.
that.
I
Yeah,
like
it's
to
cool to see
him do that. Yeah, makes things more fun for us.
So yeah, it's really excited just to see what he's gonna play, because you have no idea. Just like Andy Serkis, we have no idea what he can be. But
Yeah.
I strongly feel like it's gonna be some type of new character. And then is that same for you?
Yeah, I don't think they're gonna bring Ewoks back. I mean, if they do, maybe like a glimpse of them or something like that.
Yeah,
like within like a council or something.
Unless Wicked is a part of the
he turned Jedi. He's a rogue
unless
Jedi right now.
unless he turned Jedi, or he's just hanging out with Leia, and he's like high up there in the politics.
That's true. Yeah,
which
that's kind of like with the Clone Wars, what they did with Jar Jar.
Yeah,
I mean, part of the council.
In a way, the teddy bears were, the
Ewoks.
Telly bears, the Ewoks were pretty. They're almost as ridiculous as Jar Jar, but they weren't. I mean, Jar Jar was beyond, annoying and crazy.
Cute little teddy bears.
Yeah, I mean, Jar Jar was pure cringe. Like, that's what he was.
Yeah, he was just pure annoying.
There's, but some people, hate both of them and whatever.
Yeah, it goes both. I mean, that's how Star Wars is in general. There's a love-hate relationship.
Yeah, there's a for each and thing. What else do you have?
To hate things.
And
one thing that I actually just recently, this is old, I want to say older news because I remember you telling me about this, but I just recently seen it back up on the news, is George Lucas doing the Star Wars Museum in Chicago, which is very close to us, which is going to be awesome.
Yeah.
So what are your thoughts about that? Do you know any details? I found out a few things and I'll explain them.
I personally don't know any details really, but what excites me about this is that we are really close to Chicago. How far do you think we live?
Yeah, like 45 minutes.
Yeah, it's only 45 minutes. So that's kind of like our city.
Mm-hmm.
And it's cool to see this opening in Chicago. Because a Star Wars, I don't think it's not just Star Wars, right? It's Lucasfilm. So
it's not just like pure-based Star Wars. It's going to be like arts and illustrations and stuff.
And we're going to get probably Indiana Jones stuff too.
Probably,
and all that.
Yeah.
So anything kind of Lucas related.
Definitely.
Yeah, that's going to be awesome. But back to what I was saying, I was so happy to hear that this is going to open up in Chicago, somewhere really close to us, because this could have easily opened up in California or easily opened up in New York.
Mm-hmm.
The general places where you would expect it to open.
Yeah, one of the things I found out, I think it was like between Chicago and San Francisco, I think. But it was George Lucas's wife's idea to do it in Chicago.
Okay.
And so he went with that idea.
Okay, yeah. And I love that. I mean, I heard he likes Chicago a lot. I've had actually friends who I had a friend. It's like a friend who knows a friend kind of thing.
A friend
who knows a friend. She works at Starbucks in Chicago, and she's seen George Lucas come in. And
doesn't he have a place down there? He has.
I think. Yeah, I believe he has a place. I mean, if we knew where it was, we probably would have raided that place.
Yeah, really. We would have been all up on that. Fanboy style.
Yeah, fanboy style. But yeah, I heard he just loves Chicago, and that's pretty awesome. And just it's going to be close to us. And when that does release, we're probably going to be going there a lot.
Oh,
so
yeah.
We're going to definitely cover that and talk about that on the podcast a lot, and
definitely.
let you guys know about it. And
we're definitely gonna go in there if we can with our cameras and stuff like that. And kind of shoot a video of that. One thing I found very interesting was he was talking about how the museum was going to look, and this was while he was doing an interview with Charlie Rose at the Cadillac Palace Theater. Basically, the way he explained it, these are his words. He said, "It's going to be organic architecture, connected to the ground, and it will look like a living thing." So what do you think he means by that? Yeah.
I mean, I don't know necessarily if that living thing is going to be something Star Wars related, because I don't think he wants to limit his museum just on that.
Just Star Wars based,
I mean, it's probably going to have everything Lucasfilm, but is it also going to be like other type of museum things that aren't movie related? Or
from what I've read and heard, is it's going to basically include art and illustrations by people that were associated with Lucasfilms, and then I think, what was it, the production company as well with them. I forgot what the company's
that's
called.
Really cool. There's gonna be, I mean, there's so much great concept art of Star Wars and everything.
Yeah.
And that's gonna be really cool to see. And do you think that he's gonna be bringing in some of the original props and models and stuff from the original trilogy, and he's gonna finally be getting that out of the Lucasfilm, I don't know what they call it.
The
closet,
shed.
the big building where they hold everything.
The big shed.
Do you think? Do you think? You think they're gonna be moving that into Chicago and?
I think so.
Giving it a new home.
I'm sure they will, because I mean, I've never been to the Lucas Ranch or anything like that. I don't know what
that's
his
where it's
other
at, right?
locations.
Lucas Ranch. Yeah, that's.
I believe so. Yeah. So I don't know exactly what he's gonna bring, but I did hear that he was gonna bring like props and stuff like that. And another interesting I also read up on was that he's paying for this all himself. Like, they're providing him with the location, but he's paying for the museum and everything with it by himself, basically.
Dang, I mean, well, he has the money to do it.
Yeah.
And that's really cool that he's doing this.
Yeah, that's awesome to be able to share that stuff with us.
Yeah, definitely.
Because that would just be in my room if I was him.
Yeah. I mean, that's an interesting, back to the building, that's an interesting concept that he's saying it's going to look like a living thing. So
yeah, that's what I'm curious about, because he didn't go too much into detail.
Be a big
with
lizard
that.
was
like a movable building.
Movable building.
Consumes other buildings around it.
Yes.
All right. So yeah, that's basically the most recent news. There hasn't been too much more that I've heard or read Star Wars related. That's
I mean, there's some rumors and stuff going on, but some
I don't really like to share rumors.
Some of these rumors go a little bit too in depth, and I mean, there's some other great podcasts that kind of go really in depth in the rumor mill, but we kind of want to stay away from that. We kind of want to stay more into the
fact-based.
Fact officially announced news. But we will talk about rumors here and there, ones that interest us and ones that aren't too spoilery. But that too, and just reviews of the comics, books, and TV show and movies. Yeah,
definitely. That's what we're going to stick to. All right, now let's go straight into Star Wars Rebels. There's a little bit I want to talk about with this episode. First off, how did you feel about the episode?
To me, I loved it. Right away, I loved it. One thing that Clone Wars, I mentioned this before, is that... well, actually, you know what? Clone Wars did start off really good. It started off powerful, but their movie was lacking. So
I haven't seen the movie, but I heard it was nowhere near as good as what the show was.
It's not as good as the show. I mean, the opening credits and everything is, really great. Kind of like the opening, the first 30 minutes of the movie is good, but the rest is kind of like whatever.
Yeah.
But kind of, because of that kind of failure, you didn't really get that anticipation for the show coming out.
Oh, okay.
But with Rebels, we just watched Spark of the Rebellion, and I loved it. That was
a good start.
And it was a great start. And then you come into this episode, and I felt like it wasn't lacking at all.
No.
And it even gave us more answers to questions that we have.
Yeah.
We had, and whatnot.
Definitely.
What did you think overall?
Overall, I really enjoyed it from the very beginning. I'm about to talk about this. The appearance of C3PO and R2D2, I lit up.
And you know what? It didn't feel forced.
No, not at all. Not at all.
And it made total sense as to why they were in this episode.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah. They played a big role, and that's one thing I really like. The pacing of this is excellent, and from what you see towards the end, I'll talk about that later. But what you see towards the end, you can tell it's just going to progress. And so far, with it's only one episode in, so I can't really talk about the progression from episode to episode. Yeah. But so far, I'm liking it. What do you think of the look of them? I don't know what it was, but when I seen them, they just look so good. I don't know why.
You know what? I saw them in the trailer, and I'm so used to seeing them in Clone Wars that when I saw the trailer, I was like, they look weird. But then when I watched the episode, it seemed to totally fit with their art style. Yeah. And I thought it looked great. It wasn't like the worst thing I've seen so far in Rebels is how the Wookiees look.
The Wookiees were bad.
And it could have been rushed, those Wookiees or whatnot. Yeah. So later on they could improve on those Wookiees and how they look, at least show some fur moving or something like that.
I think they try to go a little bit too different with those Wookiees.
Yeah, but these droids, they look great. And one thing that I loved was I mean, it was like the little kid in me was like cracking up. Was the little feud between Chopper and R2?
That's
and
another thing I wanted
it's just
to
like
discuss.
they're just like annoying the crap out of each other and
like
just
picking
bugging
on
each other. And not only that, I actually really enjoy how Chopper annoys everyone. Actually, kind of. I mean, he is the fart bot. He sounded less of a fart in this one.
In this one, yeah.
I mean, his noises sounded a lot better. And like, kind of like the feud between him and Ezra I thought was hilarious.
I was
too.
laughing in the beginning when I seen them feuding.
Yeah.
So, sitting down on the bus and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It felt like they're like brothers. Like
Yeah,
we would do
and
when we
it's
were
only
younger.
the first episode too. They just met each other,
Yeah.
but it feels like that
They're
they already have a strong connection.
shoving each other and stuff.
Yeah, definitely.
But then like when the I don't know what you want to call him, bus driver or whatever, tried kicking him to the back, like Ezra stood up for Chopper and was like, hey, if my droid has to go to the back, then theirs have to go to the back.
Which was cool too.
Yeah.
And then sticking to that scene when Sabine and Zeb were kind of messing with that Imperial lady who was talking to. She was with somebody who's selling, underground weapons or whatever.
I wonder if that's why they had them kick those droids to the back too. I wonder if that was played out, because that allowed Sabine the opportunity to pretend to, understand. I think she did understand, but she just said, the wrong thing to get him to go where she wanted him to go.
Well, they said that. She said, well, during that time, which you actually find out later just to remind you guys again, this is going to be very spoiler heavy. But at the end where the droids are, C3PO and R2D2, they're telling them like, hey, we were actually trying to stop this selling of this weapon and whatnot. And because they weren't aware though, Sabine and Zeb. Yeah. Like they weren't aware that they were underground rebels in the sense. They were another underground
they
rebel
weren't even
group.
aware what the weapons were.
I thought they were just messing with the Imperial.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Actually, I thought because their goal was to steal weapons to sell.
Yeah.
And so I thought they were like, oh, this is a great opportunity to mess them up.
Just mess up, yeah.
And whatever. And I mean, that Imperial lady, she was mean. I mean,
she was, yeah.
She deserved it, of course. I mean, it seems like all the Imperials really, as much as I love stormtroopers and I think they're cool and stuff, the Imperials are a lot like Nazis. They
and
really
how
they are and how they act.
Yeah, very. I think Nazis probably would be the best.
And Palpatine pretty much is Hitler.
Pretty much, yeah. I wonder if that was their inspiration.
How they follow him, the inspiration and how they listen to him.
It is very. I think that's how Lucas wanted to set the Imperials.
Because kind of in World War II, that was a good example of good versus evil. Yeah. And Star Wars is a story about good versus evil.
Exactly. And going back to that, going back to Chopper and Ezra, just in the beginning, their relationship. Mm-hmm. How do you think that's going to build? Do you think they're going to have a relationship like Anakin and R2D2 had?
I feel like
just annoying
with those two. I mean, I feel like maybe no. Well, they're going to be close, I think, but I feel like Chopper is going to be equally close to everyone. Yeah. I feel like he'll be more close to Kanan. But when I think of it again, Chopper is like they described him as a grumpy cat, and Ezra is the youngest, so like he kind of wants to hang out with the pet, or whatnot. And Chopper is kind of like a pet in a way. Yeah. Kind of just with his personality and everything, and I mean I could see that happening. I don't think Chopper is as good as R2D2. Yeah. He won't get things done as fast, but he has a pretty cool attitude that I'm liking so far.
Yeah, it's just, I find it funny how these droids just have a personality to them. Like R2D2, how he has a personality, and then you see Chopper's personality. It's funny to see how they collide together. Definitely. Now, let's get on the topic of Zeb, because I felt like this episode kind of revolved a lot more around him. You got a little bit of his past there. Yeah. What do you think about that? Do you remember what the weapons were called?
I was actually going to ask you that because I forgot what the weapon was called.
What they call them
too. But, I mean, I have a tab up about the episode here. I could see if I can find what it's called. But yeah, you kind of got to pass now. They're going to steal these weapons. Kanan and the whole group. They're out to steal these weapons, and right when they steal them, Zeb opens up and he kind of gets, scared. He's like, oh, what the crap?
Yeah.
And he finds out that it's an illegal weapon.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the same weapon that the Imperials used to take over his home world.
Yeah, exactly.
Which
the weapon
affected him greatly.
Oh yeah, and the weapon, to give you guys a gist, if you haven't seen it, what the weapon does is it takes down any how do you want to say it, mechanical vehicle, stuff like that. It interrupts with their mechanics and whatnot, but also biologically, doesn't it like destroy
I believe
it destroys something biologically,
and they do use it a little. They do use it a little bit in this episode, and like with just one hit, it can take down like those I forgot what they call them. They're like the baby ATSTs. Like I forgot what they call those
walkers
too. But yeah, the walkers that they have in this episode, they could take them out with one hit with those weapons.
Yep.
So I mean, they're a very overly powered, dangerous weapon, and they even try to say to the Imperials, like, hey, they try to blackmail them in a way, saying that you can't use these weapons. They don't care. Imperials, they kill people. They can do whatever they want.
They're making
because
the rules right now.
They are the ones who make the rules.
They're the government right now.
They make the laws, but they don't. They enforce them, but they don't have to obey them.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's another thing that kind of makes them like a Nazi / communist type of army, I guess you would call them, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Imperials, just basically an army and a government. But onto back onto the topic of Zeb and the weapons. What? Because they were going to the whole plot for this was they needed to sell the weapons because they needed money.
Mm-hmm.
They needed money. I don't know if it was to upgrade the ships or for supplies, but they needed money to do what they were set out to do. Yeah,
and to stop you real quick, because I just want to mention this before I forget. Kanan too. Kanan was very for. I mean, he was pretty greedy in this.
He was
he was just like, because Zeb, he wanted to destroy these weapons because he was like, we don't, because they plan on selling these weapons to do you know that guy's name?
That's what I was going to ask you. I couldn't remember what even type of race they were.
We just need to do our notes better because we forget these. But I mean, it's only the first episodes, and we're gonna watch a crap ton of these. These heads. I mean, the main characters. We kind of forgot about their names on the first thing, but now I know each and every main character's
would you call Ezra? Elijah,
Alicia. Yeah, but now I know their names, and throughout we'll kind of know the names better.
Yeah.
But yeah, they were gonna sell him to the, this guy that they've been selling weapons to, and he's kind of like a pirate.
Market.
Yeah, black market. He's a pirate type of guy, and Zeb wanted to destroy this, but Kanan was telling, and a lot of the other people in the crew agreed with him because they really needed the money because they can't start their rebellion without feeding themselves and without getting fuel for their ship and proper equipment and all that junk,
Yeah, and I mean, in the process of that greediness, the one dude they were selling it to just stole half of them.
Yeah, definitely. And
really didn't do anything about it. Or I was actually surprised that Kanan didn't do anything about it. He just kind of like, I don't know, maybe they went off too fast or something.
I mean, he didn't do anything about it. Maybe he potentially thought, like, I still want to keep this client because he's the only person that we sell this to.
Yeah, that's true.
And also at the same time, he was holding the guns.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, if he was like, hey, give us that back, he was the one holding the cannon that could have shot him right there.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the pirate had the upper hand and all that.
Yeah, it kind of comes back to Kanan not really using his force powers either, is because, like, you would think of Jedi, like, if you've seen Mace Windu or Obi-Wan in that situation, they probably would have force grabbed the items or whatnot as he was going off, but
I mean, he's not I don't think they don't really explain it that much in the shows how far in training he is, because in a way I think he's kind of, I mean, he left as a Padawan. He didn't even get the rank of Jedi Knight, and he's got to kind of teach himself just what he previously learned as pretty much a young person.
Yeah, he was still a kid too when it all happened, wasn't it? When he had to flee. So you can only imagine basically how much he knows.
But
right now.
I mean, to go back again, the whole kind of greediness actually kind of that's kind of the Han side,
Solo-ish,
Han Solo side. And I'm not saying greedy in a mean way, but kind of more of the smuggler-ish side of him in a way.
Yeah.
And I mean, if he was pure Jedi, if it was Obi-Wan would definitely be like, we need to destroy these weapons.
Yeah.
We can find another way to feed us and
Yeah.
find another way to make money.
That's
and
true.
Especially if he knew Zeb's backstory.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to tell too what a Jedi would do, because a Jedi a lot of times is kind of like a glorified soldier. They do what they're told to do by the council.
Yeah.
So if they were like, hey, retrieve these weapons, bring them back here, then they would have just retrieved them and brought it back. They would have never destroyed them, even if one of the other Jedi was like destroyed. Unless you're Anakin,
I mean
and
that's
just
true,
don't care.
but in a great way, watching through Clone Wars, you learn that Anakin pretty much never does what the council tells him,
yeah,
and
that's the
I mean,
exception.
a lot of times he goes against what they say, but a lot of times he actually gets the job done, and he actually ends up
his way. Yeah,
he ends up in his way. So sometimes it's not always good to follow the rules, and I think that's kind of why I do like Kanan, because he's really like, he's got that Jedi and he's learning the Jedi, but I really do enjoy the smuggler part of him too.
Yeah,
he has a really
interesting to
unique
watch.
personality, and I mean, I'm excited to learn more about him, because we've only gotten a mini movie and an episode about him,
yeah,
and we got a book.
and a book. Yeah,
And I'm really excited to learn more about his character.
oh yeah.
Now, do you think him and Hera are officially like a couple? Because in the Spark of Rebellion, she calls him Babe.
yeah,
And then in this, she calls him Love. But I don't know if that's how she just talks to people and they see, you know what I mean?
how they do. I think it's just how they talk to each other. I don't think they're officially a couple. Not because they don't want to be, but because they can't right now. Just because they have so many other things, going on and stuff like that. And with Hera, especially in the book, what you see, she's all about business. She wants to get back at the rebellion. She wants to basically start the rebellion, get back at the Imperials. She wants to start this rebellion and stuff. And although we skip 6 years after the book into the show, so you really don't know what happened in between those yet. But I don't really think they're a couple. I do think they like each other.
But they definitely have a connection.
They definitely
there's no
have a
doubt that
connection,
there's a
yeah.
connection there.
Definitely. I just don't think they're like gonna go walk around, hold hands, and like he's gonna buy her flowers and stuff.
You never
It's not
know.
the smuggler way.
You never know if that. I mean, some of the Jar Jar episodes were pretty ridiculous, so you don't know if they have an episode like that.
just them
on a date going to Chipotle, like
Chipotle.
Yeah.
That would be pretty sweet.
um,
And okay, let's go back to Zeb for a little bit, because I felt like this kind of episode revolved around him a bit.
and we got to learn a lot more about his character.
Yeah,
and
that's
the great thing too about all these characters in the show is that we're only one episode in, but each character has a really good personality to them.
they
that,
do like a distinct personality.
A distinct personality that you pretty much know their character very well just because of that personality, and you connect to them pretty early on, which is great because I mean, I'm really liking each one of these characters.
So am I. Yeah, especially because Zeb does seem like more of the BA throughout the group, the tough guy.
Yeah, he's more into
But
the
in
muscles.
This
the tough
episode,
guy.
you get the sensitive side of Zeb.
Yes.
He when it comes to his past, he obviously shows a softer side to himself. But then again, a more BA side, because do you remember the general's name? General Wolverine.
We call him General Chops.
We call him Sleepy.
Sleepy.
The Mexican Wolverine.
I mean, another great that scene when he's with Zeb and he's in his face like, I was there the day we took over your planet.
And then with the staff, how he said he took it from someone he killed.
That guy is a pure douche.
He is. He really
pure
is.
Evil.
Yeah, that fight scene between them was a really good fight scene, and that's another thing I want to lead up to is what Ezra did, and how that relationship between Ezra and Zeb are now going to change, because Zeb really didn't like him in the beginning. I think more in the sense he was a brat and he was kind of annoyed by him, but now you can already tell they're starting to bond, kind of like a Legolas and Gimli type of relationship. Yeah,
definitely.
But so let's just go ahead and talk about that scene with Ezra saving Zeb. I'll go ahead and explain this thing. Basically, Zeb is about to be killed by General Chops or whatever. His name is.
I'm trying to find his name right now, but for now we'll call him General Chops.
General Chops, yeah. I'll just call him Chops. Make it short. Yeah, so he was about to get killed by Chops, and Ezra passionately, it wasn't something that he meant to do. He basically was reaching out to him and just pushed Chops up against the wall with the Force. And then Kanan, of course, from there, seen it and looked surprised, like, holy crap, wow, this kid has a lot in him. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the kid has, he's already doing some crazy, earlier in the episode, wasn't he jumping like a Jedi too?
He was jumping.
He's already kind of getting like the Anakin effect where he's kind of early on, he's doing some crazy,
doing this stuff. He just doesn't know how to control it.
But yeah, he doesn't know how to control it. But it just shows that he can become
he's strong.
He can be, at this young, he can become a pretty, powerful Jedi.
Yeah, that's one thing I really love about the show and about these new characters that are introduced is you just have no idea what's going to happen to them or what's going to become of them.
Yeah,
whether
definitely.
They're going to progress through it or die out.
And
don't know.
I'm already really interested in what does happen to each one of these characters because we have no idea. Something's got to happen to. There's a reason why we don't see them in the original trilogy.
Yeah,
and either they all die or they die. They die.
There's like a mass killing. Of
they could have been
again.
on Alderaan where they blew up Alderaan. They could have died on there. But there's some hope that some of these, people could actually show up in episode 7.
Episode 7, yeah, you don't know.
You just don't know. And I actually just found out Agent Callus.
That's
Chops.
That's
Chops. I believe that's how you say it.
General
Kallus. Callus.
That sounds right. Once again, we just make the
well,
names.
I'm bad with names, but I kind of like Chops better.
Chops, yeah. We're calling Chops throughout the series.
But yeah, what a douche.
He really is, man. He really is. The way he was talking to Zeb and just reminding him of his
He even
past.
had the weapon of his people. Zeb was saying the guardians of his people. He even had that with him. He's like, I killed one of them with this, and he was fighting Zeb with that.
Those weapons are really cool. I like.
They are cool. They're a lot like what the droids had in Clone Wars.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah,
but it has a gun on it. It has a gun on it too.
Does it?
Yeah, that's what Zeb uses. It's like a blaster.
Oh
and
yeah,
then it
that's why it
extends
looks
out
like
into
okay,
that.
that is true. Yep, that is true. That's cool. It kind of looks like steampunkish in a
It
way
does.
when you look at it.
Yeah,
but yeah, that's definitely a cool weapon. All right, so let's go ahead and let's move on towards the end. Okay, so after basically all that fighting goes on, Ezra saves Zeb.
Mm-hmm.
You can tell from there their relationship is going to build. For a second, I was a little worried that Zeb died.
Really?
Like I thought they were gonna like pull a Game of Thrones or something.
Yeah, like kill him off early.
Really, you don't see him move, and then you see him moving. Like, he's fine. He's cool.
Yeah. Well, I mean that's actually great if it gives you the feeling of like, oh my god, he might die. That means that they're doing the show right and that the writing's going good.
Exactly. And I really hope they don't just like start killing off people like Game of Thrones does. Even Game of Thrones is awesome, but
no, they're going to be building on these characters at least for 2 seasons. And then once it gets closer, I could see the show getting a little bit darker,
picking off
as their AIM audience grows up, and they can either kill them off or they can have these certain characters move on to something else.
Yeah,
I won't be surprised. The Inquisitor has to die. Like I can't see him being. Like where was he the whole time with Darth Vader going on like and stuff. And I actually want to mention real quick, last podcast we talked about the Darth Vader cameo in Spark of the Rebellion. That episode actually doesn't air until I believe like the end of the month.
Really?
We have to wait a little while for that. But when that does come out, we'll talk about that extended scene because
I just can't wait to see how he looks. Like, have you seen a picture?
Like how his animation looks?
Yeah, animation and how
I haven't seen a picture yet.
Just because I love how
I kind of just want to be
so
surprised. I'm not even gonna look it up. I kind of
just want to see it when it comes out. Yeah, definitely. I'm right there with you. All right, let's talk about. So after back to Zeb and Ezra. After all this happens and they're back on the ship, that's pretty much close to the end.
Yes.
Of the show. Now they take. Well, first off, I want to say C3PO ticked me off a little bit in this episode because of what he did.
He was really dumb. But that's kind of C3PO. He's kind of dumb in the way where R2's really smart.
Yeah.
And C3PO is kind of dumb in the way where he has a lot of humanity to him. And he thinks that everybody is like a polite person like he is.
Yeah, like
that's why he's always nice like, how rude. Like, But he does make really dumb, poor decisions, and I was really confused on that because he calls the Imperials, but then he's telling the crew that he's a secret agent who's trying to get rid of these weapons. But then why was he calling back the Imperials to take them back? That's what I was really confused about.
Yeah, that was confusing. I guess in the same sense, too, they were going to be sold to God knows who they could have ended up with in the future.
They could have ended up just going back to the Imperials.
Exactly. They're just going to buy them on the black market anyways. And, yeah, so it was still a really dumb move because, I mean, the guy got off with half of them, and then the Imperials came. Zeb almost died.
Yeah.
It was just a bad choice. Something R2D2 wouldn't do.
I mean, that whole fight scene was great.
That was awesome.
I think I really like the animation of the fighting in this, and I want to see Kanan use his lightsaber more. And I feel like they're saving it a lot, and I'm so excited to see the first time Kanan fights the Inquisitor because, especially towards the end of the Clone Wars, the lightsaber battles get so good, and so well choreographed and whatnot. I'm really excited to see how they're gonna play in Rebels.
Yeah, I want to, because I mean, it's kind of a given that he's gonna fight the Inquisitor at some point within this season, or whatnot. But you wonder how strong the Inquisitor is, because isn't the Inquisitor Darth Vader's apprentice?
Yeah, I believe so. He's like his secret apprentice, and I mean, his job is to go kill these hidden Jedi that are hiding somewhere.
Almost kind of like Darth Maul. He's kind of an assassin.
Exactly. He's pretty much Darth Vader's Darth Maul. And another thing too is that Ezra, eventually he does get a lightsaber because you see it in all the toys and everything. He kind of looks like a nail gun.
I haven't seen it.
It's like really that's what it looks like. It looks like a nail gun where it has a handle and it kind of has this thing that sticks out of it. And then the lightsaber blade.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying.
So I'm really interested in. I really hope they show how he gets his lightsaber and how he makes it. Yeah. Because I don't want him to just have it. Like in an episode, he just suddenly have like they're training in the beginning and he just has it out of nowhere. I really want to see them like he has to earn it. Like he has to earn it. He has to find it. Because back in the Clone Wars, they had a great episode where they showed everything that the young Padawan Jedis had to go through to build their lightsaber.
Yeah, because they have to build it.
Everything. Yeah, they show all that. So I hope that they don't do that. Like I said, I mean, when they don't, like I want them to explain why he gets it. I don't want him to just have it.
Like, oh yeah, I found this. It's a little dusty here.
Yeah, I actually wouldn't mind a whole episode with just Ezra and Kanan
getting his lightsaber.
And him getting his lightsaber and basically just like great quotes from Kanan, just kind of teaching him the Jedi ways.
Yeah, definitely. Because I mean, just like in the spark of the rebellion, he kind of doesn't he quote Obi-Wan when he's talking about the Force?
Yeah, he
basically quotes him. And yeah, that's definitely something I want to see. Kind of also too how they did the lightsabers, like back when I played Knights of the Old Republic, the first game, like how like they just use the Force power to get everything together, and then the crystal, slides in and stuff. I kind of hope they do it like that. I know that stuff isn't canon anymore.
No, that is canon, or not. Well, not that, but in that Clone Wars episode where they teach them the way they built the lightsabers, that they had to put it together through the Force. They didn't put it together piece by piece. Yeah, like they had to float their crystal, and then all the little pieces of lightsaber.
I love that. There's just something to that I enjoy.
Yeah,
but that's definitely cool. All right, let's okay. Now that we pretty much picked every part of the episode, I think that I can think of within the beginning. Let's talk about the end, like the end when C3PO and R2D2 finally get reunited with Bail Organa.
Yep.
What do you think about? What do you think?
Leia's stepdad? Stepdad.
Yeah.
That scene is the great reason why R2D2 and C3PO are in this episode. It totally really makes sense, because I was confused at the beginning of the episode because I was like, wait, why are they on the Imperial side? Did the Imperials get them somehow? Yeah. And then as the episode went on, and then especially when C3PO said that one scene was like, what we're trying to tell you is that we're secret agents, trying to actually get rid of the weapons. This totally makes sense, because to start a rebellion, you got to have government involved. And that's where they're getting their government. And Bail Organa, he's looking at all these little rebellious groups, and he's basically just checking up on them and seeing what they do, because he goes to R2 and he's like, show me everything that you saw. Yeah. And this is awesome, because this team needs the government support in order to pretty much
to
rise
get where
the
they want to get
rebellion.
with the mission. Yeah,
And
definitely.
that was such a cool scene,
I
especially
thought
for
that was a good,
especially for a
good ending
hardcore
to
Star
it.
Wars fan, where like you know, some people have a hard time seeing like, well, I don't really get how the rebellion's starting with just these couple of characters, but
Yeah.
now it really does
it's
make
making
sense.
I mean, because he's the senator, am I right?
Yes.
Right. He's a I mean, yeah. When you have that government backup to be able to do that, you can really extend a rebellion against someone like the Imperials.
Definitely.
So that when I seen that ending, that kind of tickled me a little bit. I was like,
Tickled
oh,
you
that
in
is
the
cool.
nerd spot.
Yeah, in the nurse fight. Yeah, so that was cool. I thought that was a great ending to the episode. That's why I'm looking forward to. You already seen the next episode. I know that.
Yeah, I already seen the next episode, but I'm probably gonna rewatch it because it is an awesome episode. I love this episode, but I'm excited to talk about the next episode because this isn't really a spoiler, but you're talking about the relationship with Ezra and Zeb.
Mm-hmm.
They really go more into detail. It's kind of like their episode.
Oh, really?
So you're gonna really enjoy it, and then I'm gonna watch it again because it's a really cool episode, and I kind of can't wait to watch. Or I mean, to talk about it next week.
Oh, I can't wait to watch it. I'll be watching it. today, tomorrow,
Yeah.
sometime very soon.
Yeah.
Very
So
soon, bro.
so like again, kind of at the timeline where we're at with Star Wars Rebels episode. As the time we're recording this now, it is possible to see the third episode.
Yeah.
Or essentially, what would that be? The fifth episode or whatever.
Wherever we go by.
You
that,
can
yeah.
watch that. They have like a thing where you can watch an episode early. That's how I was able to do it because Comcast On Demand, they show an episode early.
Mm-hmm.
But what we want to do still is we want to follow kind of the cable airing route. And the episode that aired, we'll talk next.
We'll talk about that next.
Tuesday.
That way it gives you
know
guys a
about
week
it.
span to actually watch the episode. So
To
that
actually
way
get
we're not
time,
really
yeah.
spoiling anything for you. I mean, you guys know by now, we've said it enough that these will be spoiler heavy just because it's hard to do a non-spoiler for one episode. Because basically all we're going to be saying is, yeah, I really like this episode. It's pretty good. And then we're going to the spoiler review. That wouldn't make too much sense. But if you guys don't have cable... one thing I always do is I get a season pass on Amazon, and I think it like they put it on there the next day, and that's how I watch my Star Wars. That's how I if I didn't have Netflix, that's how I would watch Clone Wars too.
Yeah,
because they do it basically with every show.
Yeah, definitely.
And so if you guys don't have cable, that's another great option to do. But I just want to express our last overall feeling of the show. What do you think overall?
Well, so far. I mean, as a hardcore Star Wars fan, I am loving this show. I get so excited watching each episode because it's like I'm watching Star Wars history, especially because this is all official canon now. And it's very early to judge it on, but I mean, I saw the mini movie and the first 2 episodes, and just judging by all that, this is a great show, and I recommend it to everyone. I even recommend it to people who aren't really that hardcore into Star Wars but enjoy the movies, because I guarantee that you'll kind of fall in love with these new characters, and you'll have a lot of joy in watching them.
Yeah, comparison. And for me, I'm still on Clone Wars. I'm on season 3 now,
and you got so much good content and story to
go
get
with.
through that.
And like just going from Clone Wars and to Rebels, you see a big difference in how the art style is, how the story progresses, the different way they do things cinematography wise with each one. And I really enjoy Clone Wars, but I don't know. I honestly don't know what it is exactly, but I really, really enjoy Rebels.
I think a lot of it is the homage to the original trilogies, and
I think that might be
there's a lot of scenes, even the sound effects, that just it just feels like Star Wars. I mean, to me, Clone Wars did feel like Star Wars, but there's just a lot of simplicity into the Rebels show.
The little things they add.
The little things that they add
episodes.
to it, and the great experience that all the people who did work on Clone Wars, who are now working at Rebels, have, that they're bringing onto this new show.
Into it. Yeah, definitely. So that is our podcast for today, guys. Thank you for tuning in. Once again, please like, comment, subscribe. Comments are huge, guys. If you can comment on our videos, let us know what you thought, not only of the podcast, but let us just know what you thought of the episode. Later on in the future, we want to do Q&As to answer questions, any questions that you guys have, and we want to progress our channel as much as we possibly can. And in order to do so, we need your guys' support. So once again, thank you for tuning in. Brian, do you have anything to add before we let go?
Yeah, just follow me at Brian Ochoa on Twitter. I'll be tweeting on there or whatever. We're still getting our Facebook going and everything like that. I know it's taken a while. We've just been sidetracked with a few things, but soon our show will be on iTunes soon too. So we'll announce when you can get it through the feed on there. But for now, we're just on YouTube. And also, we're going to try to, because our last episode was a little long, we extended to 1 hour and 30 minutes, but we kind of purposely did that because we had a lot to cover. But just
full, especially with the New Dawn, that book.
Yeah,
I could have talked.
We could have talked 2 hours on just that book.
Yeah.
But our kind of goal is to keep around 45 minutes to 1 hour of time to talk. So in future episodes, when a new episode of Rebels comes out, but there's some huge other Star Wars news, we'll try to equal it out. And but stuff like a new movie, like one of the spin-off movies, or the Star Wars episode 7, we'll probably do a special 2-hour episode for certain things
we're going to extend
but just so you guys know, that's kind of our time limit. And we've been kind of doing this goal of releasing finally finishing editing and everything and releasing our episodes on every Tuesday. So that's when you can mostly expect our podcast to air onto our YouTube page. And I'll also like to leave you guys with one more thing. This weekend, it was pretty awesome. I saw A$AP Ferg and Skrillex in Chicago at Navy Pier. I had a blast, and Skrillex did something pretty cool live that I freaked out about.
It was a cool video.
I think you guys will really enjoy this too. So we'll end the video with that. So definitely check it out. And sorry about the shaking cam. That's my friend Josh's fault. He's the one who recorded it. So thanks again, guys, and have a good one.